Welcome back. This week of Missouri Overtime. I took my tie off, as you can see, so we can kind of be a little more relaxed for this part of the show. We're going to talk presidential race. Pat White. Let's talk about an issue we talked about with Representative Hummel. I went to a labor event. I know I have a lot of friends in labor. I have a lot of respect for what they do. This was part of the trades, and I saw the head table. I think they're all voting for Hillary Clinton. Some of them prouder than others. I saw the actual tables the members were setting. I think the majority of them are voting for Trump.
You know, I was asked by B.T. Rice, who's a respected pastor in North County, North City, the same question. And I told him the problem we have here is you got a guy who's very unpredictable in Trump. And
you can predict Hillary.
Well, but she's
going to straight sell it, dollar bills. You pay her, and she's for you.
The problem with the guy is, and I don't agree with it, and I don't agree with a lot of my members on this, is he's saying things that guys are saying at the bar, and he's saying it on national TV. And they're looking at him going, you know, somebody should have been saying this years ago, which I don't agree with, but I think that's the problem.
Courtney Curtis, Donald Trump did some outreach to the African-American community. How'd it go over?
Still waiting to see how it goes over. I think he's supposed to be in Detroit this weekend, and I think it's a part of it is scripted, but that's politics as usual as well. It is kind of late in the game, but people are looking for more. They're not getting exactly what they need from their party, so they're willing to listen, but there have been a lot of things that have been said to date that have alienated a lot of people.
He said to the African-American and Hispanic communities, what the hell do you have to lose? What's your response to that quote?
I agree with half of the sentiment because if you look at it, if this being a labor state, if this is the best that we can do for our community by providing opportunities through labor and through the Democratic Party, then we have more to gain.
But in right-to-work states, there's African-American communities that are having a hard time as well. I mean, I don't think that's the determining factor, is it?
The factor is simply more opportunities. If you come to my community and you look at the number of individuals that are unemployed, that don't have a quality education.
Will you vote for Donald Trump?
No, I won't be voting for Donald Trump simply because we have way too many differences. But I'm not pleased with Hillary Clinton.
Steve Tilley, I've been a Trump defender sometimes, especially after he won the primary. That's gotten pretty hard at different intervals. I don't know. I think he's got maybe one more chance after Labor Day to really knock off some of the comments that I don't mind. I don't want a politically correct person. I'm not a politically correct person myself, but you can hold it in a little bit better, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's certainly not a career politician, which is actually his appeal to a lot of people. And I think he's going to do, to your point, I think he's going to do very well with labor households. You and I both have a lot of labor friends where, you know, and to Pat's point, he's saying what they say in private and on a bar. And, you know, listen, I think, you know, if you want the same type of government we've received for the past 20 years, then vote for Hillary. She's been there for 40 years. I mean, she's got all these things on how she's going to solve these problems. Well, if you had all these solutions, why aren't the problems already solved? If you want somebody that's different, that's not a career politician, that I believe will put America first, then I think Donald Trump's your guy. Do I agree with him on every issue? No. Do I wish he wouldn't pick fights with people because I don't think it's presidential? Yes. But the fact is, he's not a career politician. He's a job creator, and he's somebody that I think would take the United States in a different direction. I'm going to vote for him, and I'm proud to do it.
Mark Millen on the doors in Kirkwood. What do you hear about Donald Trump?
Well, people find him refreshing. To your point, I think people like that he's not scripted. People are very skeptical of Hillary Clinton. And look, Hillary Clinton is probably the most corrupt person to ever run for president. I don't think anyone can dispute that. And just a little backstory. I mean, I started my career with the Department of Justice Tax Division. We were told repeatedly, if we used our personal email account to conduct business, and this is taxpayer information, we would not only be fired, we would be prosecuted. Okay? She was handling some of the most top secrets of our nation using a personal email account on a private server kept in her home. And, you know, there's no telling how much damage that had. And now we want to make her president. I just think if the choice is between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, you know, I look forward to Donald Trump as our next president.
Let's pivot back. I want to know, who are you voting for governor? Chris Koster, Eric Greitens?
I'm waiting to actually talk with the Greitens campaign. I think Costa leaves a lot to be desired simply because he still has some of his Republican values. He has an opportunity to do for my community in supporting the early childhood education, Amendment 3. He's chosen not to do that, and I can only wonder what he plans to put forward for my community to bring us up if he's not willing to support that.
Are you going to be working with Raise Your Hand for Kids?
Yes.
Cool. It's a very interesting. Democrat representative may support Greitens. Kind of goes in with him attacking the Republican Party, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think the race may be now somewhere around 5, totally winnable for both parties, though, right? On the governor's race.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think the obvious, answer is, I mean, you got a guy who, used to be a Democrat and now he wants to be a Republican. You got Chris, who pretty much, really resonates to the middle, and I think that's what Missouri's looking for. I think Chris is the guy.
Interesting. Give me a prediction. Where does the presidential race wind up in Missouri?
You know what? I know we got killed the last 2 times. I think it's going to be within about 6 points. I still think Trump wins,
Yeah.
but I think it's going to be closer than you
Where do you think the race ends up?
4 to 6, because we don't have the infrastructure to really, put Hillary over the top. We showed that in the last election.
Where do you think the race ends up?
I think Trump wins by about 6.
See, I think 4 to 6 too. It could have been 10, right, at some point, right? But it's probably going to be 4 to 6.
I'm a little more optimistic. I'm thinking more 6 to 8%.
Last prediction: where's the governor's race end up?
I think Greiton squeaks it out.
And then January, does he stick it to all the? You'll be one of the crony, corrupt people in January.
Well, I'm not there right now,
Congratulations.
so
There
I'm
you
an
go.
outsider, right?
Steve Tilley, where does the governor's race end up?
I think Chris Koster wins by about 4.
Where do you think governor's race ends up?
I actually think Greitens is going to win.
Is that right? Where do you think the governor's race ends up?
I think Chris wins by, I'd say 8 to 10.
So we have one corrupt crony here. We have one aspiring corrupt. We have a former corrupt crony. Pat and I are just the ones watching everything happen. And we'll see you next week on This Week in Missouri Politics. 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 This Week in Missouri Politics.